It's Laurie, author of Growing Forward When You Can't Go Back. I'm at the Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver, and I don't live in one of those houses, but I think it would be cool, and if I ever get an invite in, I'll take you along. I'm continuing on with chapter 6. I wrote it by combining bits of my story along with bits of biblical women's stories and blossom tips to help readers grow forward, not like the others. I sat cross-legged on the top bunk in my new bedroom. I could touch the ceiling if I stretched. Glow-in-the-dark stars and planets were scattered hither and yon. Maybe the kid before me was scared of the dark. The social worker opened the door and poked her head in, asking me to join her and the foster parents for a snack to get to know each other a little bit before she left. My new foster mom was talking about the nearby school, and my sister had the grown-ups laughing with her knock-knock jokes. The other kids would be home soon, the social worker said. Our first foster home. My mom was in the hospital because of schizophrenia, and I had a couple thousand questions. How long would she be gone? What if this foster home was bad, like the ones I'd read about? Who were the other kids, and why were they here? Would my sister and I attend the same school? When my mom got better, where would we live? I also had questions about me. Why couldn't I just be normal and chatty, like everyone else? I could hear my younger sister laughing in the living room while I sat frozen in the bedroom. If only I could be more like her. She always told me, don't be so sensitive. And I'd try. I tried hard to be easygoing and fun, but I couldn't be like my sister. My mom had an identical twin sister. They were Maureen and Doreen. They grew up wearing the same clothes, hairstyles, and makeup. People couldn't tell them apart, even when they were in their 50s. My aunt didn't have schizophrenia like my mom, but she battled mental illness and addictions all her life. She died at age 58 from a terrible combination of Parkinson's and ALS, which is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or Lou Gehrig's disease. It was a progressive and painful death. Her body slowly twisted up and wasted away. Her throat and vocal cords were twisted and shriveled. She was kept alive with feeding tubes and pain medication. Her heart finally just stopped beating. I never knew what to say when I visited her in the hospice. She used to be my wild, colorful, reckless Auntie Doreen, always off on adventures, dyeing her hair different shades of blonde, flirting with men of all ages, starting her own businesses, selling real estate. Now she couldn't talk. She could only groan and blink. Her brain seemed alert when I visited, her eyes following me as I roamed the room, picking up random objects and trying to find something to say. After seeing her, I'd call my sister. My sister had refused to visit the hospice, and she eventually stopped talking to me. She said she wanted to remember our aunt the way she was, wearing red cowboy boots and leopard print skirts. My sister refused to face the pain of disease and death, and I didn't blame her. Nobody races towards death, not even Jesus. When I read my childhood diaries, I remember how hard it was to live with a schizophrenic mother. The hospitalizations, shock treatments, and antipsychotic medications didn't heal her. Sometimes they helped, but she didn't like the uncomfortable, often painful side effects. She also didn't like feeling spaced out, like she was moving through cotton. So she'd stop taking her pills, and the hallucinations and nervous breakdowns would return. This cycle lasted for decades, destroying the fabric of her body and mind. As my mom spiraled downward, her physical, verbal, and emotional attacks on me increased. She was unpredictable, unstable, and scary. I prayed she'd get better, but God never healed her. I wasn't angry, and I didn't stop believing in God. I just didn't think God cared. I thought I didn't matter to him or anyone. God never cured my mom's schizophrenia, but he healed my relationship with her. Now I call her at her group home every Sunday. She has no other contact with any other of our family. It's an adventure talking to an 80-year-old schizophrenic woman who is going deaf but refuses to wear hearing aids. She can't focus on one topic for more than a few minutes, and she's not allowed to talk about her environment because everyone can hear what she says. Sometimes God doesn't heal what we want to be healed, but he heals what needs to be healed. I wanted God to heal my mom's brain, but instead he healed my heart. At 4 a.m. every day, God wakes me up with a bucket of energy. It sloshes over with joy, energy, and inspiration. I can barely carry it. But as the sun travels across the sky, my energy leaks out into work, people, and chores. By 7 p.m., my bucket is empty. Actually, now that I'm 50, it's like by 4 p.m., my bucket is empty. I recently realized that I have the power to choose how to spend my energy. I used to relive painful memories, revisit my shame and regret, and ruminate on my mistakes. Not anymore. I don't have to spend my energy on meaningless activities, conversations, or conflicts. I don't have to waste my time on movies, books, or websites that drag me down. I can stop trying to control other people's thoughts and choices. One of my She Blossoms readers, Molly, helped me see this. She spent a decade of energy on her marriage, hoping her husband would change, praying for a miracle. I desperately wanted a good relationship, she wrote to me in an email. I couldn't let go. I often thought of Paul's miraculous conversion on the road to Damascus. I prayed God would do the same for my husband. God does restore relationships, heal afflictions, and grant miracles. But the very definition of miracle means the chances are minuscule. Further, Jesus didn't perform miracles to make people happy. He performed miracles to glorify God. And so pray for miracles with a childlike heart, open, curious, and trusting. And pick up your God-given bucket of energy and pour yourself into His plans for your life. Thanks for being here for Chapter 6. I look forward to seeing you in Chapter 7. Take good care of yourself because you are worth taking good care of. Mwah.